Hello guys, it's Steve here. In this video I'm gonna be talking about baseball or whatever, so if you don't really care for sports, well, you may not want to watch this video because it'll be boring to you. But in this video I'm gonna talk a little bit about the MLB postseason or whatever, like, like the playoff system, or like how it looks and stuff, like, okay, like, in the NBA and NHL, how, in the postseason they have like 8 teams in each league. They have 8 teams in each league, 16 teams total going to the playoffs, which is a total of 4 rounds of the playoffs. You got the first round's the quarterfinals, second round's the semifinals, third round's the conference finals, and the fourth round is like the championship round, like the round that, wins you the ultimate trophy, like the Stanley Cup or the NBA championship. That's how the NBA and NHL are. They have 4 rounds, and every round is a best of 7, So, the total amount of wins one team has to win to, win the championship. Hang on, let me do the math. You gotta win 4 games in each round. So, it's a best of 7, so that means you have to win 4. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So, you have to win 16 games to win the Stanley Cup or the NBA championship in, in basketball and hockey. You get 4 rounds and all are best of 7. But in baseball, it's different. You got less teams in the postseason, and there's less rounds. Like, you only have like 3 rounds. Well, the wild card game, I don't know if that'll count as a round. I mean, it's only 1 game. It counts as the postseason, but I don't know. I'm not gonna count that. But there's like only 3 rounds. There's the division series, there's the championship series, and then there's the World Series, And the division series is well, the wild card game is a single knockout. The division series is a best of 5. The championship series and the World Series is a best of 7. So like a total of, counting the wild card game, only 5 teams in each league can make the playoffs, and 1 team will only play 1 game in the postseason. One will only play 1 game, and that'll be the wild card game, and 1 will get eliminated. And to be honest, I wish the MLB could add like 1 extra round, like how I wish it can be like, the NBA and the NHL, where it has, a total of 4 rounds, like not like a wild card game like the MLB already has. Like, eliminate that and just add an extra round, like, cause there's a lot of teams, that I want to see make the playoffs, and teams that should make the playoffs that, miss the playoffs, that's gonna miss the playoffs. Like, I'm looking at the MLB, the teams that are gonna make the playoffs. Okay, so hang on. I'm on the MLB website right now. Hang on, this may take a minute. No, I think I should go to wild card. That's probably what I need to do. Yeah, I think I need to go there. Okay. So, in the American League, you got the Red Sox, Indians, and Rangers making the playoffs for sure. They clinched their divisions, which, okay. And then the wild card teams are the Orioles and the Blue Jays. I really want to see, both Orioles and Blue Jays, in the division series in the first round of the playoffs, but that's not going to happen because Boston won the division. So one of them will, only play one playoff game. But, I don't mind Boston in the playoffs, just I kind of want to see Baltimore and Toronto, And, to be honest, I don't mind seeing Detroit making the playoffs or Seattle or, okay, like, yeah, Boston, Cleveland, Texas, and then Baltimore and Toronto would all be in the postseason. And the wild card game would be this week or next week since it's still Saturday, so technically next week would be the wild card game. Nationally, you got the Nationals, Cubs, and Dodgers, and you got the Mets and Giants. But I also kind of want to see the Cardinals in the playoffs, but I also want to see the Mets and the Giants in the postseason too. Same with the Marlins and Pirates. I want to see them in the postseason. I want to see the Pirates in the playoffs again. And I like to see the Marlins in the playoffs. Like, it's not enough teams, I say you should add an extra round so more teams can make the playoffs, Like, I really want to see Baltimore and Toronto, like, in the postseason, in the division series playing, not just a single knockout game, but, like, at least the best of 5, like, okay, let's just say MLB does add an extra round, like, alright, I had it on a piece, yeah, so the division series would be the first round, added series, best, well, I'll get to that, the championship series, and then the World Series, and the number of games, the division series and the added series, which I don't know what that series will be called, so it's just going to be the added series, the one that I added. That'll be like between the division series and the championship series. So the division series, it's a best of 5, and I say it should, stay best of 5. You have to win 3 games to move on. The added series should be a best of 5 as well. The championship series and the World Series should be best of 7. And if it was like that, the teams who would be making the playoffs, hang on, I'm going to write this down. National League. Hang on a second. Okay, the American League, alright, so if, let's just say the, MLB added an extra round, to be like the NHL and MLB where, 8 teams in each league would make the playoffs. So, if, that happened, the teams who would be in the playoffs would be, in the National League would be the Cubs, Nationals, Dodgers, well, Yeah, the Cubs in first, Nationals in second, Dodgers in third, Mets in fourth. Fifth seed would be the Giants, sixth seed would be the Cardinals, seventh seed would be the Marlins, and the eighth seed would be the Pirates. So, the Marlins and Pirates would be in the postseason. And in the American League, the Rangers would be the first seed, the Red Sox would be the second seed, Indians would be the third seed, Orioles would be the fourth seed, Blue Jays would be the fifth seed, Tigers would be the sixth seed, Mariners would be the seventh seed, and the Yankees would be the eighth seed. So, in the first round matchups, So in the first round, in the division series, it would be the Cubs versus the Pirates, Nationals versus the Marlins, Dodgers versus the Cardinals, Mets versus the Giants. In the American League, it would be the Rangers versus the Yankees, Red Sox versus the Mariners, Indians versus the Tigers, and Orioles versus Blue Jays. Yeah, that's how it would be, and I think MLB really should do that. Should, get rid of the wild card game of that, single knockout, that one game wild card game, just add an extra series, doesn't have to be best of 7, it could be best of 5 like the division series. Again, like the division series would be the first round and the added series would be like the second round. They'd be best of 5, and I kind of get, I think maybe, they don't want to add an extra round, because they don't want the World Series to go to, go into, mid-November, because if they added an extra round, it would go into, like, at least the second week in November, like, I don't know, it would go into, like, the middle of November would be the World Series, and it would be too cold. They don't want the players to play in, when it's too cold, because it's too cold in November. Then again, it gets really cold in late October too, especially in, Chicago and New York, and, which the Mets and the Cubs both are in the playoffs. And, baseball's going to play in those cities. It's going to be pretty cold, You know what I mean. I don't know. And again, it'll be cold everywhere else. I don't know. But, I think they should add an extra series. I mean, it gets cold in late October, so wouldn't make a difference. Just, do they want more off-season rest for the players? I don't know. It's just, I just want, I just want to, see, more teams in the playoffs, And I want, I don't want either Baltimore or Toronto playing just one game. They should play more games, They should play more postseason games, not just one, And, the Cubs are in the playoffs, which is good. That's my team. I'm glad they're in the postseason. Hopefully they can go all the way this year. The Nationals are in. I don't mind the Nationals. Indians are in. I like them. It's their first playoff since 2013 they were in the postseason, but they were in the wild card game, so they only played one game. They were eliminated by Tampa Bay. It was 2007, Before that, they were in the championship series. I don't know. This is just my thoughts. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Feel free to, comment down below. Just feel free to tell me what your thoughts are. In the NFL, I say you should do the same thing too. The NFL, they only have they have 3 rounds. Every game in the NFL playoffs is every round is just one game. It's a single knockout. It's not best of 7 or best of 5 like MLB or NHL or NBA or, every round is a single knockout. The NFC Divisional Series, I believe that's the first round. It's just one game. The winner of that game moves to the Championship Series, the NFC Championship Series, the AFC Championship Series, you know, and then they have that break week, and then after they have the Super Bowl, you know, and all. They should add just one more playoff round too. I'm not saying they all, you know, have to, you know, be more than one game. If, you know, it could be a single knockout. Just add one more, you know, postseason round. You know, just so more teams can make the postseason. You know, like the playoffs begin in January, like the second week of January, I think. The Super Bowl is the first Sunday of February. I don't know. Maybe move this Super Bowl to the second week of February and just, you know, still have that break week where nobody plays. I don't know. Again, feel free to, you know, share your thoughts on this. About if you think the MLB should add an extra round or whatever. You know, eliminate that wild card game and just add just an extra series, you know. And just have more teams make the playoffs, you know. Best of, you know, well, you know what I mean. It doesn't have to be, added series doesn't have to be best of 7. But, you know, like 8 teams, like 16 total teams, and the MLB makes the playoffs. Because, you know, it's just not enough teams. There should be more teams making the... Hell, one of the reasons why the Cubs probably haven't won the World Series since 1908 is because, you know, they could never get into the playoffs. Like, you know, before the playoffs were even shorter. Like, the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, I don't know. Only like 4 teams total would make the playoffs. Only 2 in each league. You know... And let me check something before I end this. I'll go up to 94. Oh, in 2004, the Cubs probably would have made the playoffs. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, the Cubs would have made... If there were, like, you know... If the playoffs were, you know, 8 teams, 16 teams total... You know, 8 in the National League, 8 in the American League. If it was like this before, the Cubs would have made the playoffs in 04. They would have been in the 5th seed. And who knows? Never know what would have happened. I don't know if they would have won the World Series. Boston was too good, and St. Louis would have maybe beat them in the postseason that year. Probably the same with 01. Hell, maybe even 2005. Maybe it could have been the White Sox-Cubs World Series. That would have been great. I don't know, I'm not going to waste my time with this video. And, you know, yeah, before it was like only 2 teams in the National League and 2 teams in the American League. There were some times, you know, the Cubs probably would have made the playoff, you know, a lot in, like, you know, back then, if there were more rounds. But, you know, only like the top 2 teams in each league would make the playoffs, like the division winners only. I don't know, again. Feel free to share your thoughts, and yeah, I keep yapping. Yeah, I'm gonna end it now, so see you later, guys. Goodbye.